KFI. Mr. Mo Kelly, it's later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app, and we're live on YouTube, the video simulcast. Got a huge show tonight. There's a lot going on, or if you're planning to go to the 405, there won't be a lot going on this coming weekend. We have a McDonald's update, kind of, sort of. The McDonald's CEO is talking trash about restaurants which are paying their employees with tips. I don't know if McDonald's has the moral high ground here, but we'll get into that. And Uber, cash or card, possibly. So if you want to get an Uber, you might be able to pay cash in the near future. And just a show programming note, got to let you know, tomorrow we're not really going to be on because the Chargers are playing. So just want to let you know right now, we're not playing the game tomorrow. We may have some best of material, which we'll play in the 9 o'clock hour, but we unfortunately will not be on tomorrow. I don't know. Twala, have you pulled aside what we're going to be playing in our stead?
I'm working on it. I've got a plan. I've got some concepts of a plan that are coming together. Mark is threatening to go and see a horror movie, so maybe he'll do a Ronner report.
I think that if everybody's gone, I may save that till next time, because
that's the plan, Mark. Do that.
Yeah, let's save it.
Okay. So then, I'm back to just concepts of a plan.
Concepts of a plan. Yeah. It sounds good. Also, did you see that RFK Jr. thing? I can't call it like a hearing. I can't call it like
it was a roast.
It was great theater. Don't get me wrong. It was great theater. There was yelling. There was screaming. There was condemnation. There was gnashing of teeth. They were saying that you're a liar. No, you're a liar. No, you're a liar. It was great for TV. Did it change anything? Not a G-damn thing. Not a thing. Is he going to resign? No. Is he going to be fired? No. Is it going to change the vaccine schedule in the United States? Probably.
This must be when you talked about how people in other countries look at the U.S. This is what they must be looking at when they say, are you guys serious out there? Like, is this real? Because I saw that and it looked like something out of a movie. That can't be what actually happened in your political landscape.
It looked like it was reality TV. It looked like that everybody was playing to the cameras, and we're not serious as a country regarding our health and human services, which goes back to my remarks last night. And if you didn't know, I thought it was kind of spot on. I thought it was really, really accurate. I thought I hit the bullseye on that one when you look at what was happening on Capitol Hill today.
I don't know how much of the hearing that you heard, but if you were listening to the 7 o'clock newscast, RFK Jr. was trying to blame problems with COVID on masking and lockdowns.
Yes.
Those were not the problem.
That's correct. What mortified me was when he was asked specifically how many people died due to COVID.
And he didn't know.
He had no idea.
No idea.
Yeah, you may not agree with the number, which is accepted by the CDC, but you should know that number. You know, you can say it's estimated at 1.2 million, but because of my conspiracy theory, brain riddled mind, I think it's less than that. Okay, that would have been a more acceptable answer, but to not know says to me, you're not serious.
Kind of seems like the basics.
You would think in a post-pandemic, never mind.
Like back when we were kids watching the Olympics, it's like, oh, if you don't do that move, the Russian judges are really going to mark you down. You should just do that one basic one before you move on to anything else.
I watched most of it, and I can say that I was thoroughly entertained. That's it.
Is that the word you want to use?
Yes, okay. Because it was a performance. It was for an audience of one. It was non-productive in every meaningful measurement that you might have.
Yeah.
I didn't tune in thinking that I would feel better about how the healthcare is managed in this country. I didn't feel better on any level.
I can't imagine how anyone possibly could.
Oh, no, I spoke to a lot of people. They were very pleased with what RFK Jr. had to say. The environmental lawyer with absolutely no medical expertise.
I have actually heard people out loud say things like, it's about time someone is telling the truth on Capitol Hill.
What?
And no
exaggeration.
I was about to lose it.
It seems pertinent to point out that RFK Jr. has no medical or scientific expertise whatsoever. No credentials, no training.
Since we're here now, let me just say this. We're at a time and a point and a place in our country where it's only about hearing what we want to hear. That's fine if you're not talking about medicine and science, where there's an actual scientific method, there's peer-reviewed studies. You can talk in very specific terms when you're talking about science. But we don't care about that now. We only care about hearing exactly what we want to hear. And if you happen to be of the opinion that COVID vaccines or vaccines more generally are akin to slavery, as the Florida Surgeon General said.
Latipo.
Yeah, that guy. That's going to be enough. If that's what you want to hear, that's what you heard today.
There has been an alarming drop in the number of Americans who believe that vaccines are effective. I think it's now just barely above 50%.
Correct. I think it's 51%. I think in 1990 was like 89%. It's where we are, and I saw this remark on Threads how they got a quote from polio, and he said, "I'm going to Disneyland," or in that case, Disney World. So polio is back. Congratulations to polio. Welcome back.
Well, we'll find ways to accessorize with iron lungs.
Yeah, and see, if you're not at least 50 years old, you may not remember someone or met someone or experienced someone who dealt with polio. You may not know that Mitch McConnell had polio as a child. It's I guess it's far too abstract for a lot of Americans now to know what a scourge polio was, past tense, in America. How many lives it ruined, how many families it ruined, how much potential it took from our country. Yeah. Because a lot of kids, if they did survive it, were physically incapacitated for much of their life or the rest of their lives.
We all knew somebody who had it, at least one person.
I did.
What's so bad about this is it's beyond the notion of hearing what you want to hear. Because to hear what you want to hear is to also deny the serious implications of what all of these anti-vaxxers are proposing, that we just go wild into the night and bring back every, black plague disease that we possibly can. You cannot turn away from the facts and not take into consideration the number of lives you're impacting.
The problem with that, Tuala, it presupposes that people understand the difference between fact and opinion, that they understand the difference between science and a YouTube video. And I don't know that if Americans really understand that now, because you hear it, you see it all the time. Do your research. What do you mean, do your research? What do you think a peer-reviewed study is? And you're telling me because you saw something online from one doctor, like Dr. Oz? That's why, going back to Mark, what I was telling you, and Twala was telling you, it's entertainment. I can't look at that hearing today and think that that is a serious representation of deadly diseases and what's at stake. I just can't, because we have someone who has never cracked a medical book in his life.
And was a heroin addict.
That too. Can you say that out loud and say that we're serious as a country?
Well, it's pretty grim entertainment, and it's going to result in a lot of deaths. I've used AI to ask about this, and it is a large non-zero number.
A lot. I can't have a serious conversation with someone who wants to argue that RFK Jr. is credible. It's not just two sides of an issue. There aren't two sides to everything.
No, and you can't let anybody gaslight you into thinking it's a political thing. This is facts versus non-facts.
Right.
Expertise versus crankery. That's it.
It's later with Mo Kelly. We got to talk about the 405 when we come back. It's getting a facelift or something like that.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And it's going down again this weekend on the 405. And if you should happen to be on the 405, good luck to you. I hope it turns out well. It probably won't, because both sides of the 405 will be reduced to 3 lanes each, probably in the worst portion of the freeway. From Santa Monica Boulevard to Sunset Boulevard, beginning at 10 p.m. on Friday through 5 a.m. on Monday. So the whole weekend, that portion of the 405 freeway, which is about where the 405 and 10 meet, will be bottlenecked down to 3 lanes. The following northbound off and off ramps will be closed. So in addition to only having 3 lanes, you have fewer off and on ramps in which to use. Santa Monica Boulevard, closed. Wilshire Boulevard, closed. And this is northbound. Sunset Boulevard, closed. And the Sepulveda Boulevard / Moraga Drive, closed. The southbound on and off ramps at Sunset Boulevard / Church Lane will be closed, as well as the on ramp of westbound Wilshire Boulevard. And this is going to happen again starting on 10 p.m. on September 19th through 5 a.m. on September 22nd, that 2 weekends from now. So if you should happen to be driving in that area, and I will be on Saturday, because as I go to my Hapkido studio, which is in Culver City, I'm forced to drive north on the 405. I'll be getting off at Culver Boulevard, which is just south of this. But if you've already bottlenecked the freeway down to 3 lanes, 2 exits up, well, that's my ass. Okay, what am I supposed to do? It's not like you can just get on Sepulveda Boulevard, because everyone is going to be on Sepulveda Boulevard using that as an alternate route. And this is just a rhetorical question. By that, I'm not expecting an answer. I'm not expecting a real explanation. But in the 55 years that I've lived on this earth and lived in Los Angeles, I don't have any memory of the 405 ever being sufficient. They had the 405 widening project, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago, some time ago. And that was supposed to alleviate some of the pressure of traffic on the 405. I don't think it improved it at all. It's the same amount of time, if not worse. So that's why I always say, and I always say it to you, I say it to anyone else. When I hear a story about, see, that's why people are leaving California. Go! Buy! Helps my commute. Fewer cars? I'm always for that.
Yeah. I'd rather you leave. I'd rather you leave and take your misbegotten attitude with you. Make sure you have all of your belongings. Don't have to come back for anything.
Don't make multiple trips.
No. Just go. Get on the road and be gone. California's an S-hole, probably because of you.
Yeah, just leave.
Just leave.
Don't complain. It's almost like you're in a relationship. I can't stand my old lady. Just leave.
Yes.
Just leave. Stop complaining. The construction work is part of a $143.7 million pavement rehabilitation project. Pavement. What are they putting down? Pavers? What are you doing? Filling up the potholes? Do we need more asphalt or concrete, or do we need more lanes? No, we need more lanes. Fewer cars or more lanes. I don't know how we get there. I'm fine with fewer cars, but if you can give us more lanes, that's even better. And Daniel, we have a picture of it right now on, Daniel's put up a photo and video of it on our YouTube. Do we need it to be repaved, or do we need something to help alleviate the traffic and help our commutes? I'm thinking the latter. I think that's probably more important, but no one ever listens to me. Mark never listens to me. Robin's been working the show tonight. She hasn't said 2 damn words at all. She's not listening. And Twala, he's in his phone. What's going on here?
Are we on the air now?
I mean, I'm looking up things on the Sepulveda. It's got me all backed up.
Oh, you mean like in a traffic sense?
Like that too.
Okay. McDonald's, when we come back, we have to talk about tipping. You know I hate tipping. And you know that I am loath to tip people who beg for them. But the McDonald's CEO makes a good point about tipping and the issues connected to it. This is one of the things where I agree with the message. I'm not so sure I agree with the messenger. We'll get into that next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
The CEO of McDonald's says restaurants which rely on tips, are letting diners like you and me pick up the tab when it comes to paying their employees. And there might be some truth to that. It makes sense. This is what he said. I can't pronounce his name, so you'll just have to trust me. It's coming from the CEO. Quote, if you are a restaurant that allows tips or has tips as part of the equation, you're essentially getting the customer to pay for your labor. And you're getting an extra benefit from no taxes on tips. Close quote. He's not wrong. He is not wrong. And we know that minimum wage for fast food workers specifically, what's it now, like $20 or something like that now, or something ridiculous?
Damn near 25.
Okay.
It's crazy.
The point is, yes, because businesses under federal law, restaurants can pay workers as little as, get this, $2.13 an hour, as long as they make the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour once tips are included. So think of it this way. If you are a waiter or a waitress at a restaurant, you're effectively earning $2.13 an hour plus tips. But if you took yourself and got a job working the fries at McDonald's, you'd be making like $20-something an hour.
Yeah, you're starting at 20 an hour. Period.
The McDonald's CEO is not wrong, because you and me, in theory, we're picking up the $5.10 per hour that the restaurant is not paying. Now, I have my misgivings with tips. I have a problem with the expectation that a worker is going to be getting a tip. That's what drives me up a wall. It's because it's supposed to be discretionary. It's supposed to be up to me on top of the service. It shouldn't be an expectation when it come in, okay, you're going to give a tip, a gratuity, just because the person is standing there. It used to be that it was some sort of reward for over and above service, not just bare bones, just the least that you could do, or what is commonly associated just doing the job, as it were. I don't like the idea of tipping for no reason, but I know that I just kind of have to. I'm a semi-public figure, and if I don't tip, I'll end up in some news story. Mo Kelly doesn't tip. He's a cheap ass.
No.
And that's not true.
No, because no one knows.
I'm very
me.
cheap.
No one knows me at all. They don't know my face. I'm not out there like that. I went into California Fish Grill, love California Fish Grill. Young lady there helping, there was a little bit of a line. She said, "Sir, are you paying with your card?" I'm like, "Cash or card?" I'm like, "Card." She said, "Well, you can come over to our self-serve kiosk."
Oh gosh.
And I said, "Okay, cool." And she asked me what I want. I said, "Well, I want the fish sandwich. It's delicious." She queued it up. And then she turned the screen to me.
The screen of shame.
When it had the tip amount, which it should be up to me. You shouldn't start with, here are the recommended amounts. Don't start there.
Probably starts at 18%.
Yeah. Don't start there. Just let me do what I want to do. But then don't stand like you didn't really do. I could have punched in all those things myself.
In other words, yeah, you're literally paying for their job at that point because they're not doing anything.
Yes.
So did I understand correctly, though? Pardon me for interrupting. The McDonald's CEO is encouraging tips?
No, he's saying it's unfair.
It's unfair.
Because even though they all are in the food service industry, the burden is being picked up by us as customers for restaurants and the employees. He's basically saying, like, look at us. We're actually paying for our employees as opposed to the customer where it's falling on his or her shoulders to pay for employees.
Let me add some context to that.
Okay.
The McDonald's CEO makes more than $18 million a year, and McDonald's is routinely named as one of the companies with the most employees relying on public assistance. That means taxpayers, you and me, regardless of whether we're Republican or Democrat or whatever, taxpayers make up that difference.
I said I wasn't sure he was the right messenger for the message. I agree with the message. It's just the wrong messenger.
I should say so.
So, yeah, intellectually, I don't like the idea of restaurants getting over on their own employees, knowing that patrons will pay for 2/3 of the salary directly, as opposed to McDonald's, who has to shoulder that burden. There is something unfair about them all being in the food service industry, except the expectations are widely different. Yes, but when it comes from the McDonald's CEO making $18 million an hour and crying, it's so unfair, it doesn't land the same.
We're in a Charles Dickens story. There's just no other explanation.
No, I say it on social media all the time. Nothing matters anymore. Nothing matters. Not facts, not science, not a vantage point, not your own personal professional resume. It doesn't matter anymore. Anybody can say anything, whether it's factual, whether it's accurate or inaccurate. It doesn't matter. People think that because someone says something, it either has value or doesn't, and you never have to consider the source. Yes, I agree intellectually with what he's saying, but we do have to consider the source.
He can go share a cell with the Hamburglar, as far as I'm concerned.
Do they have any McDonald's characters anymore?
They still do.
Don't they?
I don't know.
No, they did. They just brought back adult Happy Meals with the characters on the boxes and all that. As if we need that. We don't need the funny looking box.
I haven't seen Grimace and I don't know when.
I think Mayor McCheese should have a Twitter account. Come on.
If they were smart, that's what I would do, and make sure all of them had their own respective Twitter or social media accounts so people could interact with the Hamburglar, could interact with Ronald McDonald, could interact with any of them.
Because right now, let me tell you, Wendy is having at everybody.
They're the best
social media.
No,
account.
they're the best.
It's absolutely insane.
What are they doing?
Oh, Wendy is serving
their clapback
all
game
the
is
competition.
strong.
It's anytime someone does something stupid, like I promise you, by tomorrow, Wendy will be saying something about the McDonald's CEO.
Yeah. I might even tag him.
Yes.
A sassy redhead. Who doesn't love that?
No, but I'm saying they've been doing it well for years. I would think it's probably one of the first corporate social media accounts which leaned in to having an actual personality and talking mess to their competition directly.
A few years ago, do you remember Nihilist Arby's? They were roasting everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was an official Arby's account, but it was hilarious.
No, but these are official accounts. In the way, if you want to make a political comparison, in the way that Governor Newsom has leaned into trolling, Wendy's have been doing that for at least 6-7 years. At least.
Got to start following Wendy's.
You weren't following Wendy's? I'm so disappointed in you. I'm so disappointed.
I missed the boat. Sorry.
Mark, the Wendy's billboard where it's Wendy's looking over a building or bushes, and then another billboard right below saying you still have time to rethink, right in front of a restaurant that's their competition.
Yes.
I won't be shamed by Wendy.
It's a really good follow.
Okay.
Really good follow. You wonder when certain entities, politicians, businesses don't get it, don't know how to use social media to their advantage. Wendy's does not have that problem.
Well, where does it end, though? Am I going to have to start following the Taco Bell Chihuahua now, too? Where does it end?
No, because most of the businesses don't know how to do it. They're just usually straightforward, very corporate, and they don't have any personality.
Starbucks is like that.
Merriam-Webster, they're great. And I've reposted some of their stuff on my Instagram at Mr. Mo Kelly. They are hilarious, and there's always a subtle undertone with what's going on in the news. There's always. They don't directly point at it, but if you're paying attention, you know what it's referencing.
I've seen them. They're nice little community notes and corrections.
Yes, yes. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're going to talk about Uber and Cash. Nobody rides for free when we come back.
Say it. Say the whole thing.
No.
Don't just sit there. Say it.
No. You don't tell me what to do.
I think sometimes I do.
This is not a Wendy's. I don't take orders.
Thank you, drive through.
KFI.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
I remember I was a slow adopter of Uber. I wasn't really comfortable with the idea of just getting in someone's car or SUV with limited knowledge of who the person was. And Tuala, you were a driver back in the day, and you told me about the hoops that you did not have to jump through to become a driver. So I was always kind of a little skittish about it. It has improved as far as the information that they know about a driver and also the passengers. I remember when I was in Chicago, they don't do this in all cities, but they do it in a lot of cities now, where you have to upload your actual driver license or state ID for you to even be able to get an Uber in Chicago. So it helps diminish the likelihood that you'll rob the driver or do something and then they won't know exactly who you are. So there's like almost like a quasi background check for the rider and also the driver. But one thing I did appreciate about Uber was I didn't need to carry cash on me, and using cash, I feel, would put the driver in more danger. The moment you know or believe that the driver may have a certain amount of cash, like when you go into a 7-Eleven, I don't, but when you go into all there's usually a sign saying, the cashier doesn't have more than $20 change or something.
Yeah, some lie like that.
Yeah. But when you introduce cash, I think there's another element that makes it more dangerous. Angelenos using Uber can now pay for trips with cash. I know why it would be attractive to Uber, because you're increasing the likelihood of riders and transactions. What I was talking about with Chicago, they're trying to do here in LA, where the option will be limited to verified riders and only drivers with strong feedback that can accept cash trips. So don't be surprised if LA Uber starts asking you to upload your ID to verify that you're who you really are, and also be able to see your history as a rider, whether this is something which will be extended to you, because it won't be extended to everyone.
I can tell you, if I was driving Uber right now, I would opt out of the cash option.
That doesn't surprise me.
Riding anywhere where I got to possibly carry change, where I'm going to be accepting cash, where anyone during the course of a day is going to be watching me, checking me out, saying like, hey, this guy's got cash on them. That's great. Upload your driver's license, this, that, and the other. I was always under the impression when I would get calls and it would take me to an area that was less than savory, my mind always thought criminal. How do I know you're not requesting an Uber just so you can carjack me?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. The people that you just say, look, let's get us a car tonight. I'll request an Uber. You run up on them when they pull up to the curb and say, hey, are you so-and-so? Nah, get out your car.
We always say we think like criminals. Doesn't mean we are, but we think like it. And also, if you put the element of, okay, I know this person accepts cash, so we'll have cash. You're making it more likely that something bad is going to happen.
Uber drivers are not Domino drivers. They're not Pizza Hut drivers.
Make that distinction.
When you are driving for Domino's or Pizza Hut, and at the points of time when they were accepting cash, I think a lot of them still do, you go, you deliver your order, you get the cash, you go back to home base, and you deliver the cash. You're not riding around for hours on end with large amounts of cash collected from various trips. If you are an Uber driver, there's a chance you may have, as we know, like when Foosh is driving, he drives some 8 hours a night.
Yeah.
You know, if you're driving Uber and you're trying to make money, you're not just doing quick 20, 30-minute trips. You're out there for hours on end trying to what? Make ends meet. You're trying to make your salary. You're trying to make your money. There is a large chance that you're walking around or driving around with lots of cash on you. I would find someone at the end of the night. I'm finding someone late. If you're driving around late, you're going to have more cash on you than someone who may be out early.
That's right.
I'm sorry to think like a criminal. I'm sorry to put these criminal elements out in the air, but you have to think about these things.
In the way, well, we always talk about don't go to a gas station late at night. And one of the reasons I tell you is because criminals know that there is going to be a monetary transaction there. You're going to pull out your wallet. You're going to pull out your credit card. You may go inside and, get money from the ATM, a lot of those places. I think of this the same way. They know that there are monetary transactions which are going to be taking place. So yeah, for me, I would never think of asking for an Uber driver who accepts cash.
It's a great step forward for criminals. It's just like ordering a pizza, except you're using an app to order a crime victim.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark, yes.
I get why Uber would want to do it because they probably shoulder no insurance liability because they're not employees. And I guess they're leaving it up to the driver if they want to accept cash. But there's no real fear for Uber, the company, this going left for them. But it would for the driver.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely going left.
Not all ideas are good ones. I understand where you want to make it more accessible to people. And the reason they give, not everyone has a bank account, not everyone has a credit card. It's like, yeah, that's true, but it's 2025. Okay? Everyone's got a debit card. Even if you have EBT, it's in the form of a debit card. So that doesn't really fly with me. But, as they say, not my monkey, not my circus, not my problem. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.